Can you see me? Can you hear me? Hello. Awesome. Great. Hi, Thomas. Good morning. Let's begin our session for today. So sit comfortably, keep your back and neck straight, and very gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. Watch the natural flow of the breathing as you inhale and as you exhale. Gently shift your focus to your body. Become aware of your posture and see if you need to make any adjustments so that you are aligned correctly. In your final position, you should be stable and comfortable. Gently come back to your breathing and now begin to deepen your breath. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 shantis. After your next exhalation, take a deep breath in for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibrations. Join your palms together and begin to rub your palms together. Keep your palms on your backs. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, open up your eyes. Let us begin our session for today. So, first thing, I looked for the doubt that you had, Thomas, and the mantra that you are actually looking for, it's called Bhojanam mantra. Yeah, I'm writing it down in the chat box also. So BHOJANA, Bhojanam mantra. This is a mantra that we chant before we eat our food, and it basically it's expressing gratitude for the food we have, and also hoping that everybody has food on their table, basically. And those who don't, you are praying for them, like for everybody, not just people, animals, everybody in the world, they should have food to eat or consume, right? So let's continue. We were discussing the lifestyle of yoga practitioner, because now you guys have become yoga practitioners. So there are some lifestyle changes that you can make. Yes. Yes.
Hi, I just want to introduce myself. This is the first night
Yes.
I got through in the class, and
Yeah,
I'm not sure which class it is because I'm in Toronto, Canada. So
okay.
it's actually almost 1:45 in the morning
Oh,
over here. But
okay.
I
Mhm.
was getting mixed up with the time, and I didn't know. I registered last week for the course, but I didn't know how to get in contact with to get to the class. Finally, I made it. So, which class is this?
This is your yoga philosophy class, and after
Oh,
this, you will have your therapy, and then the rest of the schedule will follow.
but this is every day like this.
Yes, it is. Our timing is 11 to 12, and for you, it's, I think, around 1.
But this is like morning period for me in Toronto, Canada. So how would I do my classes? Because I get up like 7 o'clock for my son's school and everything. My day start at 7 a.m. But my
Mhm.
yoga is clashing like after midnight here at 1, my class is starting.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
any
So,
suggestions? What can I do?
yes. So your anatomy class is a few hours before this, so you can join anatomy. First thing which will be feasible for you is to join anatomy regularly.
Okay.
Second is that
Anatomy.
in these classes are recorded. So on the days you feel you are able to join, it is always better to come for the live class, because you are directly connected to all your teachers through live session.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
whenever you can, try to join the live sessions, and whichever sessions you feel you are unable to join because of your schedule. So these sessions are recorded and uploaded on YouTube as well, right? So you can catch up on the lecture after it is uploaded on YouTube, and maybe according to your schedule, you can watch the classes.
Okay. And are you my teacher for all my classes?
Sorry.
Are you my teacher, my instructor for all my classes?
I am your instructor for philosophy and pranayam classes. You have multiple teachers for
And
all
and what's
subjects.
your name?
My name is Soumya. Can I know
Okay,
yours?
so I'm Sitara.
Okay. Hi, Sitara.
Nice
Welcome to
to
your
meet you.
classes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm sorry I'm taking up your time, but I had to like understand. Now you explained to me. I would try to do anatomy. I would try to do meditation and alignment, and the other classes I might have to do it at the pre-recorded video.
Yeah.
I have a quick question more. But my instructors would know I'm following my classes, my courses. How would they?
So the ones that you are joining, of course, we are going to be aware that you are following the course with us. But remaining, it's up to you. Whenever you want to watch, you can watch them. And suppose you have doubts, so maybe someday when you feel you have accumulated your doubts, you can again come into the live sessions and clear those doubts. That is
Okay. Okay. I'm
right. So
so
that is
happy I finally found you tonight.
so
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm going
That
to
is how you will
unmute
remain
myself.
connected to us. That is how you can
Yes.
stay connected as well.
Okay,
So
thank you so much. I'm excited. So I'm gonna mute myself now so I can listen to you.
yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Great, great. No worries. Awesome. So we are actually, I'll just briefly introduce also, yoga philosophy classes are mostly theoretical classes, which will give you a deeper understanding into what you are practicing. Okay. And what is the logic, the basis behind those things. And we were actually discussing the lifestyle of a yoga practitioner in the previous classes. So we had talked in depth about the kind of food that you should consume. And today we are going to touch upon other topics which also come under this category. And you can try to implement these things into your life. Whatever suits you or your wavelength, you can go ahead and implement those things, right? So today we are going to move ahead and we are going to discuss the remaining topics. So next topic for us is actually vihar, right? So vihar is actually recreation. VIHAR. Vihar is recreation. So when somebody joins a course like yoga, or somebody steps into spirituality, a lot of people they're like, they left everything behind, they're supposed to leave everything, right? But considering that we have to lead our day-to-day lives and then incorporate yoga into it, we cannot afford to leave a lot of things, right? And one of them is actually a source of recreation, right? It is so important to have something in your life which gives you the enthusiasm to participate in it. It could be any kind of hobby. It could be anything that you love to do. If you love to go out and go for a walk, that can become a recreative activity for you. If you like drawing, you can go ahead draw. If you like painting, you can paint. If you like dancing, you can dance. So generally this notion is given to people who are practicing yoga that they are not fun or they don't have fun, right? But recreation for a common person who is practicing yoga while fulfilling their responsibilities is very, very essential, because all of us are bound to have emotions and thoughts which can pull us down, right? So when we specifically go ahead and place something or take out some time in our day for a recreative activity, we actually channel those emotions and those thoughts. We actually channel those emotions and those thoughts in a positive direction. Okay, so we are not ignoring them when we do recreation. We are not reacting upon them. We are simply giving them a different direction, right? So recreation is, you can directly translate for us as me time. We have our own me time. I have my me time. You have your me time. So this time ideally should be present in your day, right? Each and every day should have at least half an hour to 1 hour of this time where you put your mind into a direction which you really, really enjoy. This is what keeps you going as well, right? So when you have the enthusiasm to do something, you really look forward to it, right? It creates a sense of activeness within you. All other things in our lives, maybe they are because of wherever you are, what condition your life brings you. Maybe they are out of a responsibility, or you are doing them out of a sense of responsibility. But one time in in your day, you should at least feel that you are free, right? So recreation acts as that source of freedom for you, where you truly express yourself. And because you truly express yourself, you every day you are setting off whatever you are accumulating, right? So in the beginning, at least it will help you to set off those negative emotions, those negative thoughts, right? Eventually, it will help you, do better. But a common person in today's world is not even balancing out the negative and the positive, right? Most of the time in our day, we are, engaged in the negative thoughts and we don't realize it, right? So when you start doing your recreative activity, you see how much of that pattern you begin to break. And it is very essential to break the negative pattern, right? Why? Because if you keep going in it, it has this tendency, to catch you, right? Or take a grip of you, right? So when you take out time every day in your uh, 24 hours, you make sure you break this pattern, right? If you read the biographies, autobiographies of one of the most successful people in the world today, you will see they have their own set of routines, right? And what are these routines actually acting as? For them, it is it gives them pleasure to, have a set routine, right? They have certain rituals that they do, right? So what are these rituals actually? They are a source of recreation for them. So it is always good to take out this time for your own self in your day. Otherwise, you will go through a burnout, right? The daily life and modern world is quite stressful in its approach, right? And when you practice yoga, stress is not a word that you hear, right? You're always happy, you're always smiling. I won't say happy, but your reactiveness is, you know, you are stable, not happy, you are stable. There is a sense of stability, there is a sense of balance. So for the beginner and even till a very later stage, recreation should be imbibed as a lifestyle practice rather than just, something you do every once in a while, right? So whatever you love to do today, take out the time to, sit with yourself and see what you like to do, right? And then take a resolution that you're going to opt for that thing, because new year is here, right? We are still in the month, first month only. So right now it's a good time for you to, make up your mind what you want to do with the remaining of your year. So you can actually, set a goal for yourself and see your entire year, see the goal actualizing, right? Recreation will be very, very good for you. And initially you will think, oh, half an hour is too much, right? And eventually you will see half an hour is too less, right? Because you enjoy it so much, right? Now you are going to fight with your schedule to make time for that. And it's going to help you to not only calm down your negative thoughts or your emotions, right? It will also change the way in which you deal with the world, right? So now when you talk to someone, people will say, oh, you have changed, and you did not do something extraordinary. So yoga emphasizes on the ordinary things, changing the way in which you do the ordinary things. So recreation will change the way in which you conduct yourself each and every day, which will again help you to manage your life better, right? So for a beginner, it is very important to manage the life, right? We are running into chaos. So management becomes very, very easy when you do something you love, right? You immediately get attracted to something you really like doing. No? You don't mind taking out time for that. So yoga really emphasizes that you should take the time to do what you love. Okay. Next lifestyle change that you can make, which is very important again, is the it's called in Sanskrit, it is called achar. It's talking about the conduct. ACHARA. Achar or conduct, right? So now conduct is actually a long-term thing, right? If you look at a set of habits, if you look at a set of like a set pattern of attitudes that you have developed over a period of time, then you are actually talking about achar, right? It is the way in which you conduct yourself. Again, in all of these lifestyle things, you can either go in one direction or go in the other, right? So I'm telling you, the direction in which yoga is nudging you, right? You can go for wrong conduct also, right? But yoga is nudging you to go towards the right way of conducting yourself. So changing the mental attitudes, changing the habit patterns, because each and every habit that you form, all right, it translates into a few hours, and those few hours will translate into a day, and the day will translate into a week, week into a month, and month into a year, right? So essentially, rather than us being a product of the years that we have lived for, we are essentially a product of our own habits, our own attitudes, right? How we deal with the things, how we perceive the things, right? So if we work on the habits, if we work on how we conduct ourselves, the relationship we have with our own selves, and the kind of conduction we have when we are in touch with the external things, then this same set of habits, it will translate into hours, then a day, then a week, month, year, and years. People spend their entire lives trying to change one thing, or it takes years for them to even understand one thing, right? Why is this happening? Because we are constantly working on everything, but we are not working on it in the correct way. So yoga first tells you the correct direction, right? And then it asks you to put in the work, right? When you put the work in the right direction, you begin to see the changes, right? Is some form of conduct is good for you, right? It will never come and hurt you or harm you, and it will never come and go and hurt someone else or harm someone else, right? And again, the way in which you understand that the conduct is wrong is either it will harm you or it will harm someone around you, right? Means you are not conducting yourself in the correct manner. So in yoga we have the concept of yam and niyam, and these two concepts I will cover in depth also when we do the eightfold path of yoga. So yam is mostly the social ethics, you can say. YAMA. And niyam, this is your uh, personal, what is your relationship with yourself, right? You can say it's a way of the correct way of conduction of your own self, right? So yamas mostly focus on, okay, if I am having an interaction with you, so how it should be. It should be truthful in nature, right? If I'm not speaking the truth, I will never build up my credibility. No, you will not be able to trust your teacher if you think that the teacher is lying, right? So in that same way, there are 5 such things that Patanjali has talked of. That when I'm interacting with someone, there should be honesty in the way in which I'm interacting. There should be a sense of non-harming, right? I should not harm you, right? If I interact with you and I harm you, will you come and interact with me again? No, right? You will see that I am constantly harming you, so you will stay away. You will be like, it's better to stay away, right? So means that if currently you are conducting yourself in a way where it is harming someone, where you are not being honest, means you need to make a change within your approach, right? As much as is permissible for you in the current situation, at least you can take this much, take this level of resolution. I'm not saying, see, we are all beginners, right? So right now, jumping from one stage to the extreme other will only do you harm. Okay, so go step by step, see what level is good enough for you, where you know it is practical enough, you can make those changes, right? If you are able to make those changes, it's good. If you are unable to make those changes, again, reevaluate, come back, right? See, okay, if currently I'm not able to make these changes, then let me come back to my level, see what is the gap that I can keep and what little changes I can make. But the constant effort is required, right? With yamas and niyamas specifically, people jump from one extreme to the other, right? And then they jump back from that extreme to this extreme, right? So always evaluate and judge yourself. Where is your wavelength? Okay, and start making little changes on those bases. Same goes for niyamas. So niyamas are more about your relationship with yourself, right? One of them is like uh, cleanliness, maintaining cleanliness, short. Okay, I'm not writing down the names right now because it is not relevant currently. I will discuss all of these things in detail in upcoming classes, right? So I'm just giving you a set of examples which will help you to understand this thing better. So cleanliness, it's a habit, it's a way of conduction, right? How I conduct myself. I like to take a bath every day. It makes me feel good, right? So what will happen if I like to take a bath today, right? Then most likely if I skip taking a bath on a particular day, I will not feel so good about myself, right? So means you have developed this habit. You have trained your mind in this way. When you wake up in the morning, first thing that you're going to do is this, and then this, and then this, and then maybe you will go and bathe, right? So maintaining the hygiene is so important for your own self, right? It is the relationship with yourself. If I think that I am, worthy of these things, it's only then that I will, keep myself in that way. When you go to a temple, you always try to bathe before that, and you always try to keep your temple clean, right? So whichever god you worship, you will always keep that space clean. There will always be a sense of caution when you are, in interaction with that particular space. So your body is also a temple, right? You need to clean it. You need to provide it with proper respect. It is a way of giving respect to your own self, right? When we cut our nails regularly, clean our eyes, do the shatkarma practices, the cleansing practices, we are respecting the body, right? Maintenance of the body is actually respecting it, right? So try to develop or nudge yourself more towards these things than the other things, right? Because again, there's so many things that will capture your attention and they are quite gripping in their nature. But you have to see if something is leading you to be better, to shift to a better perspective, right? It is a good action for you. And if the opposite is happening, short term you're feeling good, but in the long run you're feeling so bad, right? Then start to eliminate that thing, by focusing on what you want to keep in your life, right? So any doubts so far? Then I will move ahead and discuss. Any questions, any queries? All right. Yeah. Okay. So move to the next point, which is again, I consider this one to be the source of everything. So it's called vichar or thoughts. Vichara. Vichar or thoughts. So now you are sitting here in philosophy class, right? So this means that we all are working on ourselves. I'm teaching over here means I'm also working on myself, and you are attending the class means you are also working on yourself. So we have come to this common agreement that we are not free from our thoughts. Okay. And the journey is quite long, right? Being free from the thoughts or free from the kind of disturbance they cause, it's still ahead of us, right? We are still working towards it. Means that, again, we have to work on our thoughts constantly. You can choose to think negatively, right, about something, and you can choose to think positively about it, right? And you know that you are only having a perspective. Why? Because if 10 people are put in that same situation, right, someone will take something positive out of it and somebody will take something negative out of it. Means that the situation has some other quality, right? But what we are taking out of it, it's going to stay with us, it's going to influence the way in which we are going to lead our lives, right? So thoughts are very, very dominant, right? The thoughts will influence your energy, right? How you act and what you speak. When I get angry at someone, first I will have that thought, that now I'm angry. Then if it begins to overpower, then I might abuse the other person, right? And if I get too angry, then I might even go and slap that person or hit that person, right? So this is very common, this happens, right? So it's very important to understand that it is actually the thing that is making you do every other thing is actually your thoughts. Okay, and they take the back seat, and then you speak, then you act out, and then you later on reflect, oh, this happened, right? So most of the world, they're focusing on all the things except working on their thoughts. They're doing everything they can. They're watching Netflix, they are, doing all the things which will take them away from the work of the mind, right? And that is why in philosophy classes, I really emphasize that you should not skip meditation, right? Meditation is the only practice where you will be able to see your thoughts. You will be able to observe the thoughts, right? Like initially, I wouldn't say that you will finish all the thoughts, but at least you will be able to observe. You will be able to see, okay, this is coming in my mind. This might be the cause that I speak something or I do something in my life, right? And because you are not reacting in that moment, you are actually able to observe that, right? Neither are you suppressing it, you're not asking that thought not to come, nor are you acting upon it, right? When you develop a positive mind, when you develop a positive perspective, your entire life begins to change, right? No, again, I will go back to this thing. No successful person, you read the stories of successful people, right? None of them had all the resources. None of them had, most of them actually struggled in their childhood or at some point of time in their life, right? But they came out to be successful. Why? Because they trained the mind that whatever their goal was, whatever their vision was, or their dream was, right? They could achieve it. They could have chosen to believe that they couldn't achieve that thing. But they chose to go with a positive mind. And that is what drove them to achieve their goals, right? Nobody ever has the right amount of resources or the right amount of circumstances to act correctly, to act positively. It is how you train yourself, right? Each and every day, step by step. You made the initiative to join the yoga class, right? You came to philosophy class, go to asana class, pranayama class, meditation. What you are doing in this time with your mind, you are listening, you're practicing, you're seeing, experimenting. You could have used the same time to, go into negative thoughts, go into thinking what cannot happen for you or what will not happen for you, right? But you are giving this direction to the mind where you are constantly, giving it material, right? Which will change the way in which you are thinking. When you begin to read the books, which, completely change the environment, when you watch the things that completely change the way in which you are thinking, right? Suppose you believe in something totally opposite, but you one time you want to experiment and see something else, right? So you will see your mind is such, it will start supporting that other thing as well. If you give it ample reasoning, if you give it ample content, right, it will start supporting the other thing. right? If at some point of time I tell you, this thing is not existing, I constantly repeat that thing. Some time sooner or later you will start believing that thing doesn't exist, even if it does, right? This is the power and the quality of the mind. The person who is totally, deeply into faith, they believe that God is real, right? They give the sculpture or the idol power, and it is their mind which is giving that thing life, right? So human mind is very, very amazing, right? As long as you go in or nudge it in the correct direction. People go crazy also, right? With the same quality of thoughts, it's very dangerous. The mind can be your servant or it can ask you to be its servant, right? So you have to choose the direction. When you come into yoga, again, you guys get connected, you get like-minded people. So what is happening? You are changing your entire environment. Now you're saying, I want to be around this type of people, this category of people, right? So constantly your mind is now going to look for all the information. Today, whatever discussion we have had in the day, you will think about it, right? Or maybe tomorrow you will begin to think about it, right? Something or the other will start coming up. So what is happening? On a very fundamental level, you are changing the thought, right? And if you have ever seen the movie Inception, no, there was this movie which came a few years back. It's called Inception. If you haven't seen it, see that movie, right? You will see this thing. He just plants one idea and it turns into the reality, right? He creates an entire world out of that thought or entire reality. And that is how even we work. If right now you choose to plant an idea in your mind, right, it will turn into your reality. So you have the power to change this thing, right? Never think that you are helpless. You have the power to change how you perceive your life, how you perceive your suffering, right? Everybody suffers, but how you see it, do you see it as something which took you down or as an opportunity to grow, right? So as you begin to change your environment, you will see your thoughts also begin to change. That is why, in your childhood, your parents would say, have better company or look for better friends. They know what kind of impact it will have on you, right? Even now, if you tell your children, this friend is not good for you, why are you saying this thing? Because the kind of ideas your child is getting exposed to, you are afraid of that thing, right? No, because you know the impact it is going to have in the long run or in the bigger picture, right? So start working on your thoughts from today. Check. If you're having a negative thought, okay, always balance it out with a positive thought. So suppose you think you are useless, okay, this is very common. It happens with me also, right? So some point of time you think you are useless. So balance it out, okay? At least I wake up timely, or at least I go to my work and do my work efficiently, right? So don't let the negative thoughts overpower. Initially you will again begin to only balance out, but from today set your mind, if I have one negative thought, I will have one positive also, because generally we have so many negative thoughts and only 2 3 positive thoughts, right? So now we are at least coming to 50-50. Then as you work, you will come to a stage where the positive are much more than the negative, right? So initially beginner level, this is how you can approach the things. Okay, any doubts, questions, queries, and difficulties? Okay, okay. So I'll just close with one last topic which is present in this particular head, and that is your व्यवहार, behavior. Okay, VYAYAVHARE, or behavior. व्यवहार or behavior. Okay, so uh, we have come to the last point. So again, very easy to implement. Behavior is nothing but the accumulation of a set of things which will lead to a habit. Okay, so habits, attitudes, they are more long term in approach. You develop them and then it goes on. But it is, this thing is coming down to the behavior actually, right? The little things, how you are doing them, they will form the entire habit, right? So in yoga, when you come in yoga, again you will do the same actions, right? But now your intention will start changing, so your habit or your attitude will start changing because of this thing. So behavior mostly emphasizes on what little addition you are making every day, right? This little addition turns into the habits or the attitudes when looked at from a long term perspective, right? So this can become your starting point to lead you to the correct conduct, right? And then somewhere in between, your thoughts, your recreation, everything is going to support you only to come to this kind of harmony, right? Yoga is all about harmony, right? So how do you conduct each and every action? No, that is also very important. So in the beginning sessions only, I talked about the definition of yoga, and I said that the perfection in action, or skillfulness in action is yoga, right? So how you have to do your action every day? Bhagavad Gita, we are going to have a separate class on it, but it has emphasized on how one should conduct each and every action, right? You should do one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time is very essential. Then you should do it with full concentration, right? So second quality of the task that you are doing, no matter what task it is, it could be something which you feel that you don't like, it's very like little, right? Maybe just cooking the food, right? Or cleaning your room, right? And it could be something very huge in your life, like when you go to your profession, right? It's acting as a source of your earning, it's sustaining your life. So it's a big thing in your life, right? Major chunk of your time goes into your profession, right? So it doesn't matter what kind of time, what kind of importance that task has in your life. Each and every task should have certain qualities, right? First thing is, you always should do one thing at a time. Our brain is designed to only focus on one thing at a time. It's just the switching becomes very quick. So we think we can multitask, right? But actually, we are not designed to multitask. Okay, one thing at a time with full concentration. If you are not fully concentrated on what you're doing, you might end up hurting or harming yourself or somebody else around you, right? Suppose you are chopping food in the kitchen, right? So you might end up cutting your hand, right? Because you are not really there, you are not concentrated on your task, right? So then the concentration comes in. Next thing which is very important is the dedication. Now suppose cleaning the room, right? You don't like cleaning, right? I don't like cleaning overall, right? So what happens now when I'm doing that task? I'm just like, oh, I just have to do this thing, right? But if I add a level of dedication to it, right? That, wow, let me, do this thing. This thing has, this thing is going to do something, right? So then that same thing will, help me in the way in which I'm doing it. If I can choose to cry about it, any which way I have to do it, right? So at least I can do it with dedication. If I do it with dedication, again the result is going to be very different, right? When you do something with a lot of dedication, have you ever seen the quality comes out so differently, right? If you love to do something, if you're dedicated towards it, right? If you're dedicated towards people in your life, maybe you cook food for them, right? Food, we have had 2 classes on food now, right? So the dedication with which you have cooked, that dedication shows up in what you have made, right? You would not have discovered the rarest recipe, but it is your dedication which shows in what you do, right? So when you choose that no matter what I do, I'm going to be dedicated, right, to that thing, to that task, no matter how small that task is. the quality of the output changes immensely. Right, you can experiment with this thing in your life, right? So choose, like, suppose one portion of the day you don't like, just make a small choice, right? Just think that today I'm going to do this with dedication even though I don't like it. You will see how differently you have done that thing, you know, how settled your mind becomes, how relaxed you become when you make this choice, right? Initially it will come more mechanically, you will be like, okay, my teacher said this thing, I should try, right? But eventually you will see it starts seeping in, right? This is the practice for a beginner, where it is more of, like, just it might seem a little bit mechanical, right? But if you continue your practice, I guarantee you will reach a stage where no matter what task comes your way, your dedication will show. Because dedication is a quality, you develop it. Then no matter what situation or wherever you are put, your dedication will show, because it has become your quality now. Hard working is your quality, be it some housework or your professional work. The hard work will show, right? You can never leave it behind. You cannot, say that, okay, when I step in my workspace, I will choose not to be hardworking, right? I will not be hardworking. No, it is essentially who you are, right? So dedication also, it's developed with time, and then it imbibes you, you are a part of it. So it begins to show in each and every task, right? And that's the goal, right? And it shows up in everything you do. And last thing is being free from the results. Okay, this is very hard. Initially, again, you will do it mechanically, right? Where you are constantly like, oh, whatever will happen, I've given that exam or I've given that interview, whatever happens, we will see. And I'm not attached to it. But somewhere within, you are looking, you're waiting when the result will come or what kind of outcome is going to come, right? So initially, it will happen this way. But slowly, as you again remind your mind again and again and again that, oh, I have to, you know, somewhere form this level of detachment, then you will see that again this thing begins to develop in your personality. And the detachment gives you immense relaxation, right? If something is not connected to you, no matter what result comes, you are fine, you are chill, you are living your life, right? So in that same way, when you start doing this in regard to your own life, where this sense of relaxation is induced, I did whatever could be done from my side. I did it with full concentration, my full dedication. I did not, just do it like that. When you have this confidence within yourself, you will start to become free from this attachment, because now you did whatever was in your control, right? This sense of attachment only develops when, we think we could have done little bit better, right? So when you start changing the quality of your task, automatically the detachment comes in, right? And you are relaxed. You are just like, whatever will happen, it will happen. I have done everything that was in my power. Okay, at least I will not go back and think that I could have done better, right? Which is an immense source of relaxation. No, if you constantly keep thinking, I could have done better, I could have done better, it is such a pain. Mentally, physically, you feel the pain all the time, emotions come up. So be free from these things. That yoga says that each and every day you can see, we have discussed so many things today. You can see whatever you want to incorporate, whatever is practical for you. Start working on those things. Work on them for a long period of time, not 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay, yoga classes ended, now we will leave. No, continue your practice. See what kind of change will start showing up after some time, right? You will feel that, but eventually you will see the tangible results. Initially they will not be that tangible or easy to track, but with long period practice you will see the tangible results. And then it's like tasting some food, right? If I tell you, this food has this taste, oh, you don't understand this, or you don't understand that, and then I actually give you the food and you taste it, right? Nobody will ever fool you, right? Nobody will ever be able to sell that same dish with another name, right? Because you know the taste. And yoga is all about you experiencing that thing rather than my telling you that, oh, this will happen or that will happen. You have to come to a stage where you experience these changes in your life. There is no going back. Once you taste it, right? Once you taste the food that you really like, you just know that you like it, right? So in that same way, when you practice, continue your practices, you see the taste of the practice, and then nobody can fool you, right? Any questions, queries, doubts in today's session? Yeah. You are on mute.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just getting familiarized with everything. I just have to say thank you for tonight. I learned so much in this one session, and I'm going to be thinking of you all day tomorrow on this class. And I'm just really, really happy. And I have to ask you, when what about the other classes I missed? Like, when did like, I only signed up last week, so how would I know when was, like, what classes I missed before?
Okay, so you can just drop, I'll just write down the email ID. So you can drop an email over there. There you all the links for the recorded session. So these Zoom sessions, they are recorded and then they are uploaded on YouTube. So from the past 1 week, all the sessions that have taken place, they are already uploaded. Okay, so you can
Okay,
start
so
from day
I
one.
could just go back. Okay.
Yes, you can start from day one, and then depending on your schedule, you can watch those videos. So I'll just share the like email
So
ID.
Sumaji, today's what day? What day is today?
Today
Session.
today's session, I think I don't remember what day it will be, but in the begin, like from this month, so you will see 1 week before, like you will see videos which are from earlier sessions as well, like the past month, but you only have to start from the videos which will, be around 1 week back, and the video will have the day number, and the day number will be one. Okay.
Okay,
So
but
when
I
we
think
start the
Friday, I only signed up on Friday though, last Friday.
okay, yeah.
So I'm new, and I have one more question. Well, you told me you are covering philosophy, and what other classes?
Pranayam. I take
Pranayam.
pranayam. Yeah.
So 2 classes. You are my instructor.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try my best to wake up for the pranayam, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
know it's quite opposite for you. That is why I said I have written down the email ID in the chat box. So just
Oh yeah,
take
thank you so much.
email
Okay,
over there, and you will be provided with the links that are there for all of your classes. Start from day one. So
day
1 week
1.
back around, the
Okay,
video will start from day one. So those are the beginning of the sessions of this month. So your course will begin from there, and depending on your schedule, you can catch up, and then you
okay,
can again, you know,
okay.
come till
So
the current classes basically.
okay.
Then it
So
will make
Maji,
any sense.
but all the other professors, how would I? I'm not sure if I'll get a link with all of them, but I'll try to get caught up. But because of the time difference, I'm kind of a bit lost a little bit the translation, but I'm getting caught up.
No worries, no worries. You once you get a hang of it, you will understand what is happening. It's just in the beginning
Okay.
it seems, because of course you have joined in the middle also, so you are feeling that way. But
Yeah, I'm
not
feeling
a lot of
lost a little.
classes are done. Yeah, not a lot of classes are done. You will still be able to cope up. And we have classes from Monday till Saturday. So whenever you find the time, join the classes and
Okay.
see how it goes for you. Right?
Okay.
It will take you
Thank you
1 or
so
2 days
much
to
again.
transition. Yeah. So I'll just close our session with Om Shanti, because you have your next class and your
Yeah.
teacher might be waiting. So Om
Okay.
Shanti to everyone. I will see you all tomorrow for your class, and take care. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Om Shanti.